Where have you been?
A sheep had attacked me, and I had to manage my wounds.
Are you okay?
No, there's no sheep. What's the matter with you?
Oh, he was here and heard the whole thing.
There's no sheep in Nebraska. Silly fool.
Yeah.
So the server's up
They're
when
pigs.
you're ready when you are.
I'm patching.
Up your wounds?
All right.
Yes, Fantasy Grounds updater. Sorry, totally lost track of time and yeah, and
Not to
days really.
I definitely, yeah. If it wasn't for Cyberpunk, I would completely lose track of what day it is.
How many
Speaking
more
of
days?
Cyberpunk, 4.
It's not many. I can
I guess it
preload
depends on where
Monday.
you are. So speaking of preload, there was an article about how there's disappointing news about the launch. And the disappointing news is that there's a 45 gig day one patch.
Good
Wow.
God.
And it's like, well, we're downloading anyway. Who cares if your console players have they will download? No offense if you guys are playing on console.
That's true, I guess. Well, what if it does the whole core game and then you have to do a 45 gig?
Yeah, that would suck.
Oh, yeah, that's horrible.
That's
That would
huge.
suck.
I still don't have it yet. I'm still holding out for a sale.
All right.
I am 79% done.
And we are streaming live.
All right. Anybody? I already asked everybody else, but Kai, do you have any questions or comments or suggestions about what's going on right now with the group coming into Lionora?
Are you still going to do a recap?
I intend to.
Then
Oh.
I believe that all in.
Which
Little bit of side message. In the coming months, I'm probably going to be more towards my brother's house because I just found out last week that my sister-in-law is having a baby girl.
all right.
So yeah,
Congrats.
I'm gonna have a niece in April.
Sweet.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be the cool aunt that sits there and drinks while I let my niece do whatever the fuck she wants.
Did anyone else interpret the more towards my brother's house as like a Game of Thrones, I'm picking a side sort of thing?
Sure.
Now that you say that, a Lannister always repays his debts. Oh, and I got to sit there and watch my my boyfriend sit there and play the new World of Warcraft stuff, which was fucking awesome. I'm just
So
a little irritated, and I'm a little irritated with League. League can kiss my ass.
You
There's
play
a spinning
League?
dice thing.
Yes, I do.
Why don't you ever play with us?
Because I don't play normal games because people are assholes.
So what do you play?
Just bot games or ARAM.
We should play some ARAM later.
Yeah, I'm an Ash and a War with me.
You're not a main if you don't play normals.
True.
True.
Okay.
True.
The fucking game. Don't worry. You want to be angry? Not really. Then don't play League.
Yeah, really.
All right. So for Kai and everybody else, after escaping the forest fire by the orcs, started by the orcs, the uncommon signaled the Belabranta's sisters and their griffins for a ride out of the area. They flew south over Keldel as the orcs looted what they had not already burned to the ground. The refugees from Keldel and Amphale fled south, following the river before setting up camp for the night. There, the uncommon met back up with them and rested for the evening. During the night, there was a ruckus when the militia, keeping watch over the camp, killed some goblins that had gotten too close. One that kept it alive and they would have killed him if it hadn't been for Todrin intervening, and he offered to take responsibility for it. Rain began pouring down early the next morning, which Mortimer and Todrin both determined to be magical in nature, evidence that perhaps the elves had become aware of the forest fire. Next morning...
Sorry,
Go
just
ahead.
want to interrupt real quick. That was also the night that the meaning of take responsibility for changed drastically.
That's
may
true.
continue.
The next morning, the uncommon set out to find Gelkin, his apprentice, the blacksmith Ulfgar Stoneshaft, along with the innkeepers Jed and Anna Saddletree. They'd gotten separated from the main group during the forest fire, and Ulfgar blamed Bartholomew for the orcs' raid on Keldel, but Bart was able to talk him down. Chandre, who's the Gilkin's apprentice, pointed out that they had bigger problems in the woods. The group tried to sneak around it, but unfortunately drew the attention of a shambling mound, a plant creature, often spawned by fey magic. Shambling Mound had a nest of venomous snakes that it had grown beneath and lifted out of the forest soil, and the monster proved to be a challenging foe, but was struck down by the uncommon, and they were able to return the missing villagers to the rest of the group safely. Along the way to Leonora, the group began catching brief glimpses in the forest of what they believed to be elves, and it was as if they were being followed or even herded. And eventually, I think it was Todrin? Was it you that called out to them? And they revealed themselves. And they have taken the group into Leonora. And as I said, as the group is entering the village, Jed and Anna Saddletree have been pulled aside from the rest of the group by the elves and have shown a gemstone to, I think it was Bart? Or was it Hind again? Or Todrin again?
That was me
Either
again.
way,
So
they
long
have
ago.
they have some kind of gemstone that they were looking through that revealed that Jed and Anna Saddletree are in fact doppelgangers.
I was watching
And-
the stream at that point.
Yeah, the elves have separated those two from the rest of the group. And there's this very tense moment as there's a taller elf, looks to be probably one of the older ones. It's like with elves in particular, it's hard to tell just how old they are, but he's got kind of a air of like he's in charge of things around here right now, and he's just looking over the group, and he says, "Do we have any more things that we need to worry about?"
I don't even know what to make of that. Serafina, this is your town.
Everywhere we go ends up being invaded by orcs and put on fire, so there is that concern.
Right. Yes.
Wild string of bad luck.
What do you think the odds are that they'll be able to find this place?
You see this almost a smirk and like he's amused by that idea. He's like, "They're not going to find us here.
Quick question.
You wouldn't have found us here if we hadn't allowed you to."
What kind of
Those are
architecture?
accurate.
Is this like all kind of like up in trees and naturally formed kind of stuff, or?
There's a significant amount on the ground that you do see. I'll post a picture here.
Oh, sweet.
But there's some on the ground, but when you look up into the trees, there's more up there. Where are my pictures? It would help if I had the pictures tab open. So this is the first one. This is what you see as you come in and you see where this
Okay.
where the river pours right through the middle of the village, and there's a waterfall, and it's just the architecture is clearly elven, and it seems to be, there are elements that appear to be like grown and weaved together, and then there are other elements that look more, construction, stonework, and that kind of thing. But it's a interesting mix of the two.
There's gonna be a lot of me kind of wandering around, bumping into people as I'm just like staring and inspecting the beautiful woodwork.
All right.
Who doesn't want beautiful wood?
What do you plan to do with the two creatures?
He just looks over at them and back to you, and he says, well, we're going to find out if they have any, if they've committed any crime, but if not, they're free to go. They won't be allowed to stay here, though.
All right. How would you determine if they've...
They're not going to be staying here regardless. I'm going to bring up an image of this guy just here real quick. Give me 1 second. So the man you were talking to right now, did that come up on the...
Is he a man or is he an elf? Yes, it's on the image.
All right,
There
cool.
it is.
He looks a little green.
That wasn't the word I was going to use, but okay.
It's a little green to me. Like a pale olive.
That's exactly what that is.
Well,
Oliver, is it?
No. In fact, he introduces himself as Warden Riordan Castelnera. And Seraphima, as soon as he says the last name, you recognize he's related to Ephrail.
Who?
Whew.
Ephrail was the Green Knight in Amthale. He was taking part in the joust.
Oh, right. Interesting. Okay.
And he's just looking over the group, and he says, "How many are you?"
About 100, I think.
Give or take.
How far behind you are the orcs?
Well, there was a fire that separated us.
Less than a day.
One fire's distant.
Right. Well then, come with me. Whoever's in charge.
That's all of us. My sister. Them two.
Who's them two?
The Bellabrantas. And
Alright.
the speaker as well. I imagine he'll want to know what's going on.
So he leads you guys away from the main group now. This group of you. Rhea comes running up, and she brushes right past the Bellabrantas and like almost knocks Inna over as she just latches onto your arm.
Hello, Rhea.
Isn't this wonderful? I've never been to an elf village. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty great. By the way, I believe introductions are in order. What did you say your name was again, sir?
Oh god, why did I put it away? Sorry. Warden Castelnera.
Warden Castelnera. Are you in charge of the whole town here?
I'm in charge of our guard, the Rangers.
Right, okay. I'm Todrin Amcathra, Paladin of Lady Suni. This is Bartholomew Margaster. Lord.
He just looks. Yeah, he looks from one of you to the other as you're introducing. He just nods.
Yeah, and I'll just go down the list. This man's
He
Mortimer, Lady
He
Seraphina.
doesn't say a lot, but when you mention Seraphima, he looks to you almost like he's heard that name before, and he goes, Seraphima, your name is familiar.
Is it?
Do you know Ephraim, my son?
Yes. Actually, I do. Now that you mention it.
Was he in Amphel?
Yes.
Shit.
Is he alive?
Was he? I don't remember.
I don't remember if he did make it. He did, didn't he?
The last you guys saw of him, he was alive, yes.
Yeah, I didn't think any named
Yeah, the last
characters
we
went
knew.
down.
Yes, the last
Just-
we knew he was alive. Unless we saw him anyway.
Just nodded his head and says, it's good to know. Well. And he leads you to,
What is this town called? Lionora?
Lionora, Lyan. Hang on,
Oh,
I'll
it's right
put it
there
in
on the
chat.
map.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna lift this right out of Lord of the Rings, but basically he takes you to this is their council chambers.
Beautiful. Ooh. Cool, cool.
Getting to sit in the big boy seat.
Give me 1 second to get everything set up here. But he's leading you guys in front, and when you get there, there's already a bunch of people sat down in the chairs here. And he takes the one empty seat and kind of leaving you all out there. And they say, well, tell us everything that's happened. You see, first across the at the other end of the table, the from you guys, there's the elf kind of sitting at the head of the table. Bart, you would recognize he has a staff with him. He appears to be a wizard, and to his right is another a younger elf woman that appears to be probably his apprentice. On his left is a elven woman with more of a druidic look to her. And they all begin introducing themselves first. So I have a lot of stuff here, guys. I apologize. So, again, Warden Keldrim Castelnera. So I'm gonna put these names on here. So
Representative of the Fae.
there is in fact there is a pixie who is sitting in the chair.
Oh, they made the picture smaller.
And she doesn't appear to be budging. She has a whole chair to herself. She introduces herself as Hyacinth Foxfeather, and she is indeed a representative for Lionora's Fae community.
Flower thing that doesn't exist.
I'm sorry?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
The man across the table, at the head of the table, is the lore keeper, Erdan Sylvanarath.
There's some elvish names.
Yeah.
And we're all having introductions now?
Yes. To his left is the archdruid of Lionora, Shala Tharil.
And this would be called the Council, right, of Lionora?
Yes. So, the woman sitting next to Erdan is not a member of the council, but she is in fact his apprentice. Her name is Adri Silverranth.
Whoops.
I like all the profiles you made for him. That's cool.
Dumb.
The
Doesn't work.
tokens, I mean.
Table
stuff.
surrounded by pretty people.
I was going to ask, how are you able to read their profiles? Because
Nah.
I have whole things in their profiles. Yeah.
I realize you probably actually have profiles, yeah. Well, yeah, once they finish introducing themselves, I guess, I'll do the same thing I did before. Introduce everybody by name.
Yeah. As you do, there's this moment where Bjorn, the speaker for Keldel, is kind of like, should I even be here?
They're your people, good sir.
And Mariana is basically, she's like, we've been taking care of these people. You're the ones that know what you're doing here. So they're kind of like pushing you guys forward as like the ones to speak here. You're the ones that know what you're doing.
Totally.
And Erdan, sitting across the table from you, says, I apologize that we don't have more chairs. We don't usually invite guests at these council chambers.
Right.
Fine.
Thank you for trusting us with the secret of your home, especially this beautiful chamber you have here. Your trust is not misplaced.
He kind of gives you this solemn nod, and he says, I understand that you've been chased here by orcs, but the same ones who attacked Damfell, yes?
Yes.
What a name. Sovalis Qualanthri.
Oh, I forgot about him. The High Priest, Sovalis Calanthri.
Oh
I
my
can't
He is-
fucking pronounce that. Sovalis. Qualanthri.
The world of elven naming. If it sounds like it's a scientific strand of bacteria, yeah, it's an elven.
Yes, you have been diagnosed with Sovalis.
Sounds like an
Orlon Lorethian. Good old high deity of the elves.
I will
Yep.
prescribe you a daily rubbing of Silveranth to cure your Sovalis.
I hope you guys aren't saying this in front of them.
No, God, no.
No, out of character.
Incredible.
Completely out of character.
I'm just like, STD. No, definitely not. They have a convenient cliff here. I don't want to take a long walk off.
Yeah, and it's overlooking that river that you guys came in
I
on.
just now noticed that. Holy shit.
So, you have 100 people with you. How long do you wish to stay?
Honestly, till we know what the orcs are going to do next. I'm hoping they'll head on off into the forest or lose the scent and head back to camp or something, but we need to get these people to, obviously, a town somewhere.
Erdan, he's the one who seems to be speaking for the council, looks to the warden again, and he says, have your scouts located them? And he just kind of shakes his head. He says, not yet. So what is it that you wish from us? Sanctuary?
Yes. Safe haven.
You have, I understand, 2 with you who are not whose they seem. doppelgangers.
Kazan, is your mic right in front of your face?
It is.
Okay.
I'm just speaking very softly. I should stop that.
I'll fix all my volumes here.
Yeah, I'll turn myself up a little bit too. He says, you have two people with you who are not who they seem. Doppelgangers, I understand. Is this true?
At this point, I drop my minor illusion and go down the other extra inch that I'd added. You're right. You got me. I'm sorry.
Kind of raises an eyebrow and says, please, all of you, come forward if you wish. You're welcome into the chambers. You don't have to stand outside. Of course, the whole thing is outside. So there's not, the roof on this thing is not protective at all.
I'll walk around to the far side and look out over the cliff.
I'm going to tug
I'll
on
just step in.
Bartholomew's things to get his attention.
You'll pull on my things.
Yes. Just going to reach on up, grab something, and pull on it.
Ring the
I
bell,
bend
so
down.
to speak.
Yes, Mortimer.
What is the deal with these doppelgangers? I mean, I'm somewhat knowledgeable about some magic things, but they seem to be an enemy to these people. Is that something in your knowledge?
Would I know anything about that?
Roll a history check, and I'll say it'll be easy. So you can too if you want,
I
Mortimer.
remember how to do this.
18.
Haha.
Like, I feel that
It
as
didn't pop up with what I got.
I would have heard of
Oh,
them.
yes, it did. 15.
So
But I don't know what risk they would pose.
both of you have heard of doppelgangers. Obviously, there's fairy tales and all sorts of things people talk about them. It's
Well, we would know about them. I
yeah,
did research
exactly.
on them for the access to the
The
vault.
vault, that's right. Yeah.
That's true. They're very mistrusted, and in a community that's as, say, insular as this one is, any kind of outside threat is taken very seriously, and it's just a case of them probably being very, very, very cautious. Anything like that could be a potential threat, and they don't want to let something like that loose.
Well, Lady Seraphima, Sir Speaker Bjorn, please speak up if you know anything about these two creatures. Are they long-term residents? Did you know anything about that?
Bjorn just kind of shakes his head and he says, I had no idea. They came to town about 10 or 12 years ago. They took over the inn. I've never known them to be anything but friendly
And I've been gone from the town for over 15 years. I wouldn't have known anyway.
So you've never, I'm speaking for the elves' benefits, interrogating Bjorn, so you've never seen or heard of them committing any sort of misdeed?
everybody has arguments with each other, but nothing serious. I think I saw Jed. I think I saw him drunk once in my life.
Well, they're certainly
Drunk,
not.
it's a crime. We're in trouble.
They're not innately evil, then. That's good to know. I would hope that we could. Well, I'll turn to them. Why can't they stay if they've done nothing wrong?
Ardan kind of gives this quiet nod and he says, I understand your concern. However, it would not be in our best interest to have them here.
Well, depending on the position of the orcs, you may be dooming them to a quick death, or a slow one.
Roll a persuasion check.
Persuasion. Ooh, good.
He kind of nods his head again and says, that is a fair point.
I don't mean to already be making demands, but, I mean, if you truly don't trust them innately, perhaps confine them somewhere? Keep an eye on them?
I don't think confining them will be necessary. However, Warden, he turns to hang on. That is weird. I've got two different names for the Warden. His name is Riordan, not Keldrum. I've got it two different different names in the same place. Sorry.
That's weird.
Why
Are we
not
sure
both?
he's
Sorry.
not the doppelganger?
No, he's not. This is a case in mistake, not a.
It was a joke.
Sorry.
Exactly what a doppelganger would want you to think.
Exactly.
Ooh, that's a lot thinking.
It's too late now, Kazan. It's too late now.
Yeah, I just corrected it on my screen. He says we'll put an escort on them to make sure that they are under watch. But as far as confining them, they don't think that's necessary. Just they want to make sure they keep tabs on them all the time.
Well, I personally appreciate that.
How long do you wish to stay?
Well, I was hoping till we know where the orcs are gonna go, but as soon as we have clear knowledge of them leaving the area, we would be getting out of your hair, if that sounds fair. I'd even be willing to personally do the scouting if that's how it has to be.
We have people that can handle that, but I appreciate the offer. This is again Erdan speaking. He's the one that's like I said, he's at the head of the table and appears to be the. Wouldn't necessarily say the leader of the whole group, but it's like a collective. They run the town.
Right. I don't imagine it'll be long. They tend to rape and pillage and move on quickly.
Indeed, they do. Says, from what little we've heard of this situation, we've already heard of Amphel, and it's my understanding now that Keldel is gone. He turns to the woman on his left, Shala, and she says, as best we could tell, the entire village is gone.
Yeah. What was the other town that they attacked? But the
Rassalanter. Zentarum.
Zentarum. Yeah. There was also an attack on Rassalanter, but that was repelled successfully, to my understanding.
What else do you know about the situation?
Oh, Lord. Lady, bless me, I know a lot.
Please share.
Well, as far as we know, there are currently 3 clans in the area. Most seem to be to the west in the mountains, in various locations. But the whole thing seems to have been brought about by one in particular named Lugnak.
Kind of look to the warden again, Reardon, and he just shakes his head and says, "We've never heard the name before."
What about Bonebreaker? Does that ring any bells?
Kind of scratches his chin a little bit and just shakes his head. And no, I can't say that I know that one either.
Right. Well, unless anybody else wants to add anything, I believe that's the major points.
Erdan kind of turns and looks to you, and he says, Lord Amcathra, unless my old eyes deceive me, I believe I recognize your weapon.
Ah, yes. I'll draw her and... Wait, who is this that said that?
Erdan. He's
Erdan?
the one sitting at the head of the table.
I'll look him up and down. Does he look like a warrior type?
No, he looks like
Wizard.
he's a wizard.
Oh, right. Okay. Then yeah, I'll just hold it up for him to see. Yeah, this is
Azure Edge.
yes indeed.
That's not Kaysen, that was him.
Right.
He says, I was unaware that she'd been found. How long ago? When did you find her?
Oh, how long has it been? I have no idea. Less than a year in game?
For you, about 6 months.
Yeah, I'll relay that. Are you acquainted?
Not exactly. I was still young when I met Laroon War Dragon.
Who?
Azure Edge. Laroon War Dragon. This isn't her history. I know it's been a while.
Yeah,
He
okay.
says, she was a warlord in Waterdeep. She, as happenstance might have it, she died fighting orcs.
Right.
She became Azure Edge, or a part of her did.
Okay.
Huh.
She was an incredible force for good in these lands. Waterdeep has much to be thankful for her, as do we.
Oh, right. Okay. Yep. Cool. Yeah, she's still alive and well, or at the very least, she's keeping sharp.
I feel calm.
You, Todrin, you actually hear her, and she says, almost a little too quiet, she said, Todrin, you need to ask him about the curse. She says, maybe not right now, but just... And he continues, he says, I find it strange that this Lugnak would choose to launch his attack on Amphail on the eve of the Feast of the Moon. Is that correct? It is.
Oh. Why would that be relevant?
He kind of looks to the other council members rather than at you guys. And he says, more than 500 years ago, there was an event in the Sword Mountains. It was known to the orcs as the White Hand of Utrus. Red clouds appeared over the Sword Mountains and it rained blood for 3 days.
Whoa.
Amphail hadn't even been founded yet. But hundreds died. Plagues spread across the area. I would wager he chose that date for a reason.
This is a event that's important to the orcs?
I believe so.
You said this was the White Hand of Udrus?
Your truce. Yurtrus. Which, given your previous roles, you would know is the orc god of disease. Which, again, like I said, this this caused plagues through the area.
How do you spell that?
Your truce.
YURTRUSS.
It's either. Now I gotta look it up. It's either YUR or just YUT. I don't know.
And they said rain.
It's YURTRUS. It rained blood for 3 days. Shortly thereafter, the Orc Fastings War began. Which, this is all kind of like basic history kind of stuff that he's talking about. Like, he was there.
Right. Okay. That's crazy. So you think maybe he's using the timing to drum up support with the other orcs?
I do.
That matches up with the stories I've been told, yeah.
And he kind of looks from you back over to Bart, and he says, "I'm sorry, I believe I missed your name. Was it Bartholomew Margaster?
Indeed.
I actually fought alongside Margaster during the Orc Fastings War.
Oh shit.
A talented young mage named Brunyundar.
Runyanda. Am I familiar with that name?
He's the guy who built Thornhold.
God damn it.
No
Yes,
fucking
I'm very
way.
familiar with that name. Oh, really? Perhaps you could tell me of him sometime.
I would be happy to.
Huh.
And I'm
Actually
writing in a
talking
book
to a
now.
living person's history.
Says after the war began, the orcs won the Battle of the Whirling Blades, the Battle of Sarkrag, the Battle of Withered Fields. It wasn't until the Battle of Burning Cliffs when the humans won marked the point at which they broke the orcs' siege on. He starts to say Nimor's Hold, which is what Waterdeep used to be called. Kind of showing his age again here.
Crazy.
I was there.
Well, again, just to reiterate this, something about a bone breaker is relevant to this Lugnak and his push to unite orcs. Any information you could find on that might be a key to it somehow. I'm guessing it's another orc somewhere.
Does sound like the kind of name that they would use.
Indeed. Well,
I'm sorry. You said the clans. Which clans? Do you know?
right. They were the Shatter Teeth, the Black Skull, and the Dragon Maw.
He nods his head and says, "Black Skull is what's left of the Black Claw horde." And again, I'm not gonna make you guys roll history checks. This is basic history stuff. Black Claw horde was one that has, in the past, repeatedly threatened Waterdeep and the surrounding area. They were defeated in, at one point during during the Orc Fastings War, they were defeated, but later they attacked Waterdeep again, and that's when Laroon War Dragon was killed, and she became Azure Edge.
Right.
Says there was a time I was in Waterdeep. The Black Claw horde would have overrun the City of Splendors if it hadn't been for the bravery of those who traveled through Halaster's underhalls. I was with them. We traveled beneath the city, beyond the walls, and we attacked the orcs from behind.
Sounds like quite the undertaking.
The last battle in that war was fought in these very woods. That old king was killed here, not far from here, actually. Actually, I have his crown on display.
You do?
I do. If you'd like to see it, you can come to my quarters another time.
I cough.
Ew.
Right, well. If Lugnac is looking to repeat all of that, he may be looking for that crown. Just a thought.
There's nothing special about the crown. It's not magical in any way. It's just a decorative piece. Not even worth that much, and it's not even made of gold or anything.
Well, it's a symbol, yes, and so is the day he seems to have chosen to begin his assault.
That's fair. It's a possibility.
Just don't want you to be taken by surprise like everyone else.
I
This
appreciate that.
This orc was special. He was not your run-of-the-mill slack-jaw knuckle-dragger. I wouldn't
In what way?
underestimate him. I'll just turn to Mortimer. We talked to him, remember? He was well-spoken, smart.
I mean, for an orc, and actually even a bit more. Perhaps he was a doppelganger. That's maybe too much. I'm not disparaging the two that are here. Please don't think that.
And kind of, there's this little smile as he hears that and kind of laughs a little. He says, "It would take someone very, very stupid or very, very brave to try and fool the orcs in that manner."
Right. Well, thank you for your hospitality. Is there anything you need from us? Me and my team are quite skilled adventurers.
Well, I don't believe at this time, no. You're welcome to stay, at least until the solstice, which is about, at this point, 14 days away.
Oh, wow. That's a long time.
He says, if you wish to leave sooner, we can arrange that. We'll make sure that there's a path for you to leave. In the meantime, however, you are free to explore our village.
Remind me, this curse Azure Edge mentioned is on her, right? It's the one that's weakening her abilities?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll turn to the Archdruid again.
He's the mage.
Oh, the mage.
The woman next to him is the druid.
Okay, well, I'll look to her as well. Druid, not mage. Dumbass. Right. Apparently there was some kind of curse placed on Azure Edge here recently. We were hoping maybe you could take a look at it.
He just kind of gives you a nod and he turns to the rest of the council and says, I believe we're done here. And Hyacinth kind of pops up out of her seat first, like she's eager to get out of here, and just kind of buzzes right past Bart and Mortimer and Seraphima on her way out.
I swat and duck.
Saw that!
One duck.
Pop, swat, and duck it.
You want to roll for a hit, or
Is that a method? I didn't know. It
you
wasn't
you
that.
hear from the distance as she's flying away? She says, "Dwarf."
Oh,
All right, so I'm gonna remove everyone here from the thing, but you're still talking to him. He's, oops, probably should have left him on here, but he and his apprentice are both still here. So give me 1 second. The others, Annabella Branta, or both of the Bellabrantas, your sister, Bjorn, and Rhea. Rhea actually tries to stay.
Of course she does.
Of course she does.
But give me 1 second here. Put these people back on here. Can you see them right now?
Yes.
Okay. And let me leave Rhea here. She is just clinging to your arm like it's not even funny.
I try to shake her off to walk over to the mage.
Yeah, she keeps following you.
God damn it. I kind of turn and look at her. How does she react?
There's this. Roll an insight check.
Roll insight to see how psycho she's gonna get.
to be the object of your gaze? Come on.
It doesn't take a whole lot to realize that she's a little clingy, more so than usual. Hard to
Okay.
say why, but she seems to be sticking really close to you.
I'm gonna need you to give me a little bit of space there, Rhea.
Saran.
Sure. And she kind of steps back against this column here.
Thank you. I'll turn to them and hold out Azure Edge. Here she is. Gorgeous weapon.
Yeah, he looks her over and he says, I never wielded her myself, of course, but I have definitely seen her in battle before. She's a beautiful piece of art. And Laroon before her was an amazing woman. She did good things in Waterdeep. Very good things. You should be proud. She's chosen you to be allowed to wield her.
Oh, I am. Believe me.
So what seems to be the problem?
She could probably tell you better than I can, but apparently there's some kind of limiter on her capabilities.
He kind of looks to the rest of you and he says, if you wish, you can come closer. You can sit now that the chairs are not taken.
Ah, excellent. Thank you.
He kind of looks to more.
Standing.
Yeah, he looks to Mortimer and he just says, I do apologize for Hyacinth, and then he's climbing on the table and he says, I see you have a Hyacinth of your own.
Indeed, we do.
Well, may I? He puts his hand out.
Yeah, please. I'll hand her over.
Curse, you say? And he looks to Bart and he says, have you looked into this at all?
Not myself.
See. Well. And you can tell at this moment he seems to be having a... She's talking to him psychically. He seems to be listening. And then he says, I see. Well, we'll see what we can do. And he again turns to you, Bart, and he says, would you be willing to assist me in this?
Of course.
Excellent. And he turns to his apprentice and says, For now, at least. And he turns to hand Azure Edge back to Todrin. He says, I would like to spend some time with my family. But this evening, please, at your leisure, come to my quarters. And he gives you directions to where you can find him. He says, perhaps after you've all had a good night's sleep, I know some of you look a little worse for wear.
Indeed, I'm rather spent.
I understand. Well,
And this
wish you
is
all-
what's his name?
this is Erdan.
Erden the. Okay.
He is the lore keeper.
Elf
So-
Lore Keeper.
But after a brief discussion with Azure Edge, personally, he excuses himself, and when he gets up, you see the woman next to him, his granddaughter. He would have introduced her as his apprentice. She seems to be helping him a little bit. Like, he is a very even for an elf, he is very old, but he looks, 35, 40.
Crazy. I wonder how old he is.
What? Why don't all of you roll me a history check?
Cool.
Excellent.
Ooh, not the one I want to waste that on, but okay.
So, if he was there for the Orc Fastings War, that was more than 500 years ago. He knew Brunyundar Margaster and fought alongside him. If you assume he was at least 100 years old then,
Jesus.
because an elf doesn't reach adulthood until about 100 years. So if he was 100 years old then, he is basically in the 700 or 800 years at least.
So he's a teenager.
Actually, this would basically be near the end of his life.
Oh, really? Oh, so he is an old fart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crazy. Right, folks. Well, they didn't seem to put any limiters on where we could go. Who wants to do some exploring?
The only limiter that's been placed at this point is on the doppelgangers, and they will have an escort.
Before we leave, I'm going to turn to Erdan, and I'm going to ask him if there's anywhere in town I can do magic research.
He turns to Adri, his apprentice, and says, "You're more than welcome to use my personal library."
Oh,
Oh, shit.
thank you
It's-
very much. It is
it's-
an honor.
And he pauses and he says, "It would all be in Elvish. You do speak Elvish, yes?"
I do.
Okay, good.
Awesome. What
And they-
what do y'all do for fun here in the town?
Well,
How old does
If
his
you're,
apprentice look? Well, I guess she doesn't. You can't really tell with elves.
it's really hard with elves.
Yeah, but she seems younger, so I'll look at her. She seems more.
His granddaughter, she's probably in the 200, maybe 300 area.
Yeah, I'll direct the question at her then.
That is a very good question. Give me 1 minute. So,
What do you do for fun around here? You want to have fun with me?
Each other. Yuck, yuck.
So- if
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
if you're interested, there is the Taproot Inn and Tavern. where you could all get rooms for the evening. I understand that they are being the rest of the refugees that are, however, being given tents and bedrolls. So it's up to you where you wish to stay, but you're welcome to the inn if you would like.
That sounds lovely.
There's also the Temple of the Seldarine if you would like to speak to Sovlis. I'm sure you might find that interesting as well.
I appreciate it. Think for now we'll just head to the tavern. What time of day is it?
At this point, it's mid-afternoon.
Okay. Y'all want to go get settled at the inn before I head over to Erdan's place and work this out?
You go ahead. I will meet you at Erdan's.
Fair enough.
I need to make sure my family is taken care of too.
Right. Mort, looks like it's you and me.
Yeehaw! That's what they say, right? Do we need horses for that?
Oh my god.
Our horses are with us in spirit, buddy. What's your drink of choice?
Something green that glows. I imagine they would have something like that here.
I'd imagine they would only have something like that here.
Radioactive.
Sorry, what was it they would have here? I was messing with music.
Something green and glowing.
Glows.
Absinthe.
I tell you what, if we find that, I will drink some as well.
No, you one sip on the floor.
So
Just burns a hole straight through my stomach.
you've been to the council chambers. I'll just give you things that you would see. Again, it's a beautiful village. Most of it, however, is up in the trees. The temple is on the lower level, on the ground level. But much of the other things that you might be interested in, such as the Taproot Inn, are up in the trees.
Crazy. How do we get up there?
There is something of a lift, and it looks like it's mostly made of, well, it's wood, but it all appears to be like grown together rather than constructed. It's like the whole place, everywhere you look, you can't find a nail anywhere. But it appears to be just naturally grown together, vines and things like that, and it's lifted by a vine that it pulls it up into the trees.
Sick.
Nice.
Alright. Well, sounds like Bart went to the library, Seraphima went to check on her family, and Mort and I are going to head to the tavern for a little bit.
All right, so you guys, head to the lift, and along with a couple of elves, there's one half elf in the group that she's got kind of like short blonde hair and kind of this almost a bored look to her, and she just says, "Oh, you're with the human group, yes?
That'd be us.
Sorry about what happened." She kind of looks up and kind of gives a signal, and they start lifting this up into the air.
What's your name, darling?
Oh my.
I don't trust him even asking a girl's name.
I know, I was like, I can't ask somebody's name? What the fuck? Jesus.
Truly loves it.
Not when you call her darling.
Uh,
Darling.
That's fair. That's
She
fair.
just kind of looks you up and down, and she says, Trowlum.
Whoa.
No modifadu.
That's a beautiful name. I have never heard the lack before.
Thank you.
Well,
I have so many windows open. I can't find where to put her thing. Here you go. There's a picture of her.
What do you do around here?
Why is she so cute?
Is she like riding in the lift with us?
Yeah,
And
she is.
did she walk up like she's just going somewhere as well, or is she?
Yeah, it's like she caught the same elevator as you.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Go ahead and ask her name. She's hot.
All right.
She says, I'm going to my mother's shop.
Which one would that be?
General store and herbalist.
Interesting. Mort, we need some supplies, don't we?
We do, yes.
Good man. We do. Would you mind showing us the way? We're kind of new.
Sure. She kind of just almost like teenage, like fine kind of thing. She's for a half elf. It's a little easier to tell. It's still hard to tell in a half elf's age. She looked probably 19, 20 or so, like that.
Oh. Okay.
It's legal in most parts.
And fantasy, I suppose that's perfectly fine.
Well, what Todrin? 22?
That's right. That's right. I'm used to Hind being 30-something. Todd's not that much older.
So the lift gets pulled up into the trees, and she steps off first and like leads you guys along. And she says, over there's Master Fiven's metalworking, and there's Arch's Paradox.
Paradox, huh? What happens there?
You don't do archery, do you?
I do, in fact.
You're not familiar with the Archer's Paradox?
A what?
I think she was saying there's a pair of docks around here somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
So this is Kaysen being very creative with his names. Archer's Paradox is a phenomenon of an arrow traveling in the direction it's pointed at full draw when it seems like the arrow would have passed the starting position that it was in before it was being drawn. So there's all sorts of stuff on the internet about this.
Oh, okay. So, I mean,
Let me.
Okay, I'm curious now.
if
I'm
you're
gonna
if you're a fluent archer, you are familiar with this, then.
Basically, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Seraphima's father would probably be familiar with this
Here-
term.
I think
Yeah,
I've
exactly.
heard it before.
Here's an image on the general.
I'm also wondering which half.
That's because it bends around the
That's
bow, right? Yeah,
Exactly.
that's right. Well,
I thought
that's
that was a clever name.
yeah, that's an apt name for an archery store. My apologies. I was thinking more along the lines of magic.
I believe he may have some magic for sale too.
Oh my, so many places to go. Are you busy? Would you mind giving us a tour?
I was gonna say she looks down at her watch.
And then we're all amazed that she has a watch.
Flips open her phone.
She kind of shrugs a little. She says,
I have a
"Sure,
little bit of time before the Survivor Marathon.
sure, I can give you the tour." And so she leads you guys along, and a couple of things you notice. First, not OSHA compliant. There's not a guardrail anywhere,
Oh, God.
and it's a long way down. And so, as you guys, you and Mortimer are together, right now?
Yeah.
The two of you are walking along behind her, and you see there's a flight of two hippogriffs go flying by. Both of them have a rider on them, it's almost like watching the Griffin Cavalry, but they're weaving between trees and everything here.
Right.
And the other direction, coming towards you this time, you see there's about 4 sprites, which are you have pixies like Hyacinth. You see, there are pixies like Hyacinth that have almost like butterfly wings. These look like they have more like dragonfly wings as they come flying towards you guys. And as they're rounding a corner just as you are, and they kind of like 2 of them go to the left of your head and 2 of them go to the right of your head, and you hear one of them go, "Excuse me." Yeah, exactly. But even as many of things like the hippogriffs that you see, or the fey creatures you see, that's mostly elves, and not as many half elves like Trowlin, but mostly elves.
It's a magical place you got here, Trollum.
No place like home, I guess.
You don't sound thrilled.
She kind of stops and turns back to you. She says, "This place never changes. You know how slow elves move?"
I can imagine they slow with age.
She says, "First off, everyone here who's my age is over 100 years old."
Right.
23 or 21. She says, "It's every friend I've ever had is still a child."
Right. Not exactly a party town for you, huh?
Not really, no.
You ever thought about leaving?
You can tell just by the hesitation that yes, she has, but it's like kind of where would I go?
Oh, there's all sorts of places. Have you ever left?
Only to another elf village in the forest.
Huh. You should really get out there, especially if you're not happy with the speed of things around here. You can always come back. Anyway, let's check out these shops real quick.
You can just it's almost like you're telling her something she's been wanting someone to give her an excuse to do. And she kind of nods her head.
I'm leaving her hanging on purpose. We'll get back to that later.
All right. Anyway, where are you guys headed right now? Are you following her to the herbalism shop, or just around?
And we don't have to go through a whole shopping thing. It's just something to do.
Well, we can come back to that, but first let's go to Seraphima.
Yeah.
Seraphima, when you get back to the refugee group and find God names, I have so many NPCs. So many NPCs, it's not even funny.
You go and you find God names.
You go to find your father Boral and Danica and Miles.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that you want to say, or?
Well, I just basically asked them, "Have you guys eaten yet?" Basically, just checking them, doing a once over, making sure they're not injured, that everything's fine, that they're healthy and well taken care of.
Danica in particular says she's just kind of nodding her head. I think we're all fine now that we're here. Are they going to let us stay?
14 days, I heard at most. We're probably only going to be here, though, until this orc situation is resolved. But in the meantime, I would get comfortable.
I think we can manage that. Some of the people are saying there's nothing left to go back to in Keldel.
When we left, it was completely on fire. I don't know. We may have stuff that's was untouched by the flames. I mean, I don't know. We'd have to go back and check once this is all resolved, if it is resolved ever. But as far as I know, yeah, there's nothing left. But we can always go back, like I said. There might be something worth salvaging.
Well, I certainly hope so. There is one other thing. Do you know anything about what's going on with Jed and Amma? They're the doppelgangers.
Yeah. As far as right now, they're being watched. Um, they've been assigned escorts to accompany them everywhere within this village. And above that, that's all I know at the moment.
Do they think they've done something wrong?
Not something wrong, but they're not trusting. And because of that, they don't want to take any chances. So they're having them watched.
She just kind of
That's
nods
all
her
I know.
head, and you see at this point Boral. He's sitting not far away with the bow kind of across his lap. There's a quiver of arrows that he's got sat at the side, and he's just kind of almost like he's watching the elves as like not like in a menacing way. It's just
Untrusting.
not even untrusting. It's just they're all carrying bows, and this is kind of his thing.
Oh.
And it's like they're the way they design them is a little different. Theirs are more decorative. The ones he makes are more
Simplistic.
yeah.
They're more for use and not pretty.
Yeah, it's like everything that the elves make is almost like a piece of art, and his is not. And there's almost a little bit of yeah, I could do that too if I had 800 years.
He's jealous.
A little bit, yeah. And whenever everyone here from Keldale, like they live in like what is basically a pretty normal quote medieval village, and here now they are in this fantastical, elven realm, and just surrounded by magic, and they're fey creatures. There's a dryad right now that's just walking through, and just everyone is just kind of like just in awe, including him. Like Miles, Miles is just enthralled. Not literally,
Oh, I know.
luckily, but
Ah,
but they are like I said. There's this one dryad that's walking through, and Miles is just like wide-eyed and can't take his eyes off her.
good man.
I swear to God. If my little brother Vic becomes
Keep
like
him away
you.
from Todrin.
Down, keep him away from the Ledger Paladin.
Teach him a thing or two.
Oh God.
Oh man.
I swear to God, if I walk into the tavern later and Todrin's just sitting there talking to Miles like, this is what you got to do to get her attention.
Yep,
I'm
yep.
like, no. Not happening.
Is there anything that you wanted to discuss with any of them?
Do I see my father getting all like pouty over this?
I wouldn't say necessarily pouty so much as just one part exhaustion and one part a little jealous. Not severely, but just the elves have it pretty much made here.
It probably tickles me pink. But I don't. I think I just tell them just go to the tavern, find somewhere to just relax for a bit, because I got to get back to everybody else.
All right. And Danica puts her arms around you and she just holds you close, a little too tight for a little too long, and just says, "I can't tell you how glad I am that you're safe."
Me too, Mom. Me too.
And
Oh,
thank you for everything you've done.
Of course. Now please find somewhere to relax. I have to find my company, and we have to figure out what we're going to do because we can't
Of course.
stay here. So, but I will come find you later.
And she kind of almost reluctantly lets go, and you head on to find the others. And
Okay, can't cry right now.
oh.
so, Bart,
Yes.
where are you?
In the library.
All right. So you follow the directions that Erdan gave you, and you come to kind of there's no door, which is a little bit of a surprise at first. Like anybody can come in if they wanted to. And it's just this beautiful archway you walk in through, and you're immediately in a room that is just filled to the rafters with books. It is. You've seen places like the Bookworm's Treasure in Waterdeep.
Mhm.
That it's a nice bookstore. There's a lot of books there, and you've seen like the Mages Guild is name escaping me, but anyway, you've seen where they have like a huge library. This at least rivals that one, if not maybe a little bigger.
Holy crap.
Kind of reminds me of that scene in the Beauty and the Beast where
Wow, what are we called?
The uncommon?
No, the freaking.
The Watchful Order of Magus and Protectors is on your
I
notes.
just found it.
Yep. That was a mouthful of a name.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, when you enter this place, and there are elves that are coming and going. There's some of them are sat around reading. No one really even raises an eyebrow as you come in. It's kind of like everybody's doing their own thing. You do almost bump into a centaur who's
Oh,
like coming. Yeah, he's like coming around one of the bookcases and almost bumps into you and kind of goes, "Excuse me," and makes his way around you and back out the way that you just came in. Like you were like almost nose to navel with a centaur.
I've been there before.
nose to
I have
navel.
questions now.
Wasn't what I meant, but okay.
Navel on the bottom?
How'd you like to go nose to navel?
And I got to be careful with my wording, or not, because it's more funny if I'm not.
Just walks around the corner. I can smell your belly button.
That's gross. Oh, you killed it.
Yeah.
Belly buttons.
What you find though is
Smelly buttons.
are you looking for anything in particular?
Information on Thornhold. I had an idea when you first mentioned library like an hour ago.
Sorry.
It's
It
okay.
wasn't an
I should have
hour.
written this down. It was a joke. It was an exaggeration, not a joke. think about it.
Sure. I'll just say for now, any book that you take off the shelf, it's all in Elvish, which isn't a problem for you. But
I would've went and got Jenks, but he can't read Elvish, so.
I would say he followed you anyway,
Oh,
and despite that, he just like any chance to get to see, you know, the master at work, so to speak.
I'm just looking for general knowledge on magic and its applications, primarily enchanting.
All right. And if you
That's
ask,
right. I
there's
remember now. Yes, I'm looking into the crafting of sentient weaponry.
Ooh.
all right.
Nice.
Because you mentioned, I didn't know the Azure Edge was a human consciousness. So I'm looking to prolong my life once I die by putting my consciousness in the Weaver.
Holy shit, that's not the direction I thought you were going.
Well,
It-
that is part of it.
Is this
The
like
other
That is
part
an
of it.
epic life.
is this like character insurance? So if you die, your next character can wield you?
Oh
Why
wow.
not?
This is fucking
So-
brilliant.
That's an interesting. I like that. That's cool.
I'm all for it,
Being
man.
wielded by another self.
Yo,
So,
a new experience for the one.
It's just so clingy girl doesn't follow you and learn the same.
Oh,
Oh, give you some experiences.
I don't have a Rhea
I
yet.
think Rhea has a Todrin.
Yes.
So-
So yeah, that's what I'm looking into.
I'll just say this: Laroon War Dragon, which you guys knew. God, names of NPCs. There's so many of them.
Maloon.
Maloon was a war dragon. That was his last name.
Mm-hmm.
And you've heard before that Azure Edge seems to work better with people who roll me just a straight intelligence check.
Intelligence.
We'll say this is as you're doing your research.
It was almost
Okay.
a 19.
I probably should have said history check, but let's go ahead and add what's your proficiency bonus to
3
that.
more to that then, because plus
Alright, so
3 is
15.
my intelligence.
I should have said history check. That's my fault.
Laloon and Maloon.
Yeah. So it occurs to you that they were related, which you would have heard this at some point probably before.
Maybe I can convert my brother into a sword.
Wow.
Yeah, he left town with a carnival.
Well, he
Kind
ran
of.
away with the circus, Seraphima.
Oh my
He
God.
actually did do that. Yep. As far as we know, Bart.
So as far as Azure Edge and the concept of doing what you're talking about doing, it would take a very powerful wizard to do. It took the original Black Staff to do it the first time. So to coin a phrase, nothing's beyond your grasp, the Margaster family motto.
Jesus.
As far as Brunyandar and the Thornhold situation, you would know. Let's see. I don't know if I can make you roll for this. This is family history that you would be well acquainted with. So there were 2 troll wars centuries ago, by about 500 years ago. There was the situation with this White Hand of Yurtrus that actually caused the first Troll War. And after the first Troll War, Brunjandar Margaster began constructing Thornhold Castle in this strategic location near the Sword Mountains on the edge of the Mere of Deadmen. A lot of people at the time called him a robber baron. Other people called him a warlord. He was not known for being nice. Which, in fairness, though, Laroon Wardragon was also called a warlord at the time, but she's well thought of now, and like historically, she's considered a great figure. But is there anything specific that you're looking for on that?
No. Just more general knowledge on Thornhold.
Okay. I would say you probably know most of the general knowledge that's available. The only other thing that I can add to it would be it has come under attack in the past by trolls during the Troll Wars, by orcs in the past, by the Zentarum have attacked and actually held the castle briefly. So it's definitely seen its share of trouble over the years. If there's nothing else, I'll come back to Todrin.
Nope.
All right, back to you, Todd.
Right. Well, yeah, we'll just tour some shops and stuff, and while we're going, I'm just kind of chatting up Trollum about life in the village, what it's like. Definitely kind of subversively trying to get a grasp on her fighting capability, if she can take care of herself.
Roll an insight check.
Alright. Especially like in the archery store, see if she seems to be good with a bow or anything.
You can tell she's had at least some pretty good basic training with a bow.
Alright.
She doesn't seem necessarily like she'd be, as capable as you, for instance.
Uh-huh.
But, like, you could take her. But she's definitely got some proficiency with a longbow.
Okay.
When you guys are in Archer's Paradox, there's another half-elf boy that's there who there's almost like you can tell he's interested in her, and she's kind of like brushing him off a little bit.
Alright.
So you get that with a 16 also. His name is Ferris.
Ferris. Okay.
Who wants to ride the Ferris wheel?
Ah!
Varus with a V, sorry.
Oh.
The pun
Sorry.
still stands.
Varus.
Are you looking for anything in that store or any of the others? Like, are you shopping or what?
What do they got? Anything that would catch my eye?
They actually do have a few magic items.
Okay, yeah.
So as Stralum's kind of showing you around, and Varus is kind of trying to show off for her and like act like he knows what he's doing. He reaches under the counter and pulls up a pair of bracers and puts them on the table and says, "These are bracers of archery. They're about 300 gold pieces."
What do these do?
Well, if you don't... He would word this in a different way, but just for these mechanical purposes. While wearing these bracers, you have a proficiency with longbows and short bows, and you gain a +2 to damage rolls on any range attack made with such a weapon.
Huh. That's pretty nice. They look well made. What else you got?
Well, we have some arrows of ensnaring.
Ooh.
They go for about 20 gold pieces apiece. We've only got 20 of them, though.
What's the DC on those?
It's a DC 14 strength save. Or be restrained by magical vines that sprout from the arrow and wrap around them.
I'm
the target.
so down. Let me get.
Gonna
I'll
say, I
take
don't want him if
3.
he doesn't.
I'll buy 10.
That'll be 200 gold pieces.
Cool. And I will share those with Lady Seraphima if she wants some.
If the rest of you want, I'd say at this point you guys could all be shopping together. So if anybody wants to be there, you can be. Be easy enough to find out where he is.
I'd probably just walk in the door as
Yeah.
he's by her. Is like,
Seraphima,
is this-
over here!
what did you find?
Some interesting archery equipment.
Ooh.
Here, how many did I buy? Or where are they in the
You
party
said
sheet?
10. I'll put them on the party sheet.
Okay.
Give me 1 second here.
You want a few of these? I'll hold out 5.
Ooh.
There you go. They are in the party sheet. The bracelets for archery are 300 gold pieces, and he reaches back, and there's on the top shelf, kind of like prominently displayed, there's this very beautifully crafted staff, and he says, "Watch this." And he says a magic word in Elvish, and it turns into a longbow.
Ooh, that's cool.
Excuse me
Just-
while I hyperventilate. Whew.
It's called Ihler Faorn,
The thing that
which
sucks is I don't speak Elvis. Ah!
Aiton
I
brushed
guess
up
there's a
on his
difference between
Elvish.
speaking it and
Can you
actually
tell?
knowing it, right?
So basically, the translation for that, Bart, you wouldn't be able to translate it if you wanted to be there. It's the staff of transformation.
Noise.
It's a very beautifully made quarterstaff made of yew, but there's a thin silvery thread that runs down the length of it that turns into a bowstring when he says that word.
I would sell my frickin' soul.
We only ask 500 gold pieces.
You gonna get it?
Oh, beautiful.
You seem rather interested.
I am.
Is she like fangirling right now?
Yes.
Sure, I can chip in.
Yes, I want it. Held it. How much money do I got? Oh, where's my inventory? Give me my inventory.
So I think you have right at 500 gold pieces.
I will be broke happily.
There's one tiny little thing that I will point out.
Hmm.
You do not have proficiency with longbows.
Ugh.
There are, however,
Shut your
those
damn mouth.
those bracers of archery that would give you that.
I would keep it just to keep it as a stick. Like, I just wonder
How much were the bracers?
300.
I can
If you
throw
need
in
help,
some.
I can help. Yeah,
I
I'm in for 100 to get you the bracers.
I'll throw in 50.
love you guys.
If you're gonna get a bow, you should probably be able to use it.
Well, yeah, but I was gonna be content with using it as a stick. It's a pretty stick.
Oh, that's just wasted potential. Shame on you.
True.
So for the record, the staff would also be, you could use it as a druidic focus.
Wow, that's crazy.
There's one little
Yeah,
detail
I'm
I left
ready.
out there.
I'd
It's
like to go broke
cursed.
for like 500. I would like to go broke for literally 500. Alex, thank you.
Do you guys, were you going to buy the brace of archery too for her?
I threw in 50,
So-
Kai threw in 100, so if she could throw in 150, they're hers.
Yeah. Oh my god.
All right. So if you want, were you getting the bracers? Or so the bracers for archery, the Ehelerifiorn? I don't know how to pronounce that in Elvish. I'm trying.
I'm
And
trying.
those 5 arrows of ensnaring. So if you guys take care of the gold, I'll take care of sending that over then.
Done. And those other 5
Done.
arrows are hers too.
Yep, got that.
Cool.
There you go.
That's pretty great.
I may need to. Let me see if I think that should have come identified. It did. Okay. Did the bracers too?
Doesn't look like it. Although
It doesn't look like it. No, it doesn't.
I bought a pretty stick.
There you go. Bracer of archery. So I'm gonna add the +2 to damage manually on those real quick.
Okay.
We may, as far as fantasy runs goes, we may have to work out exactly how to make this work as both. But that is a. Let's see, is it gonna do it now? It may do it. All right. All right.
Can't believe I'm happy over a stick.
It's a nice stick.
It's a beautiful stick.
Stick with string.
A stick that turns into
Can
a poke stick.
somebody help me? Is a longbow D8? I think it's a D8.
sounds like it.
Okay, I think I've got that set up to work right now. There it goes. All right. That should have that set up.
I got a pretty stick.
That looks right.
turned
Okay.
into a poke stick.
Cool. So you now have, as long as you're wearing the bracers, you have proficiency that gives you everything you need to be able to handle it. So
And I have a spell that can make arrows fire arrows.
Yeah,
Oh, sick.
I'll say if you want, he can throw in just a. I mean, you guys are spending hundreds of gold coins. They're going to give you a quiver full of 20 arrows, no problem. So,
Oh.
or if you want, Boral can give you a quiver full of arrows.
Can you imagine that? Freaking arrows have been snaring with freaking fire arrow spell added to it.
That
That'd be
sounds
fun.
Yeah.
pretty sweet.
Just stand here and die. That's what they're called. Stand there and die.
Stand there and die, arrows. Sick.
Yes. Oh, I'm happy about this. Probably the best purchase I've ever made.
And it's imaginary.
Yeah, no, really.
I'm glad you're pleased. That is a 100% case and thought of it magic item.
Sick.
Thank you, Casey. You are so awesome.
You're very welcome. So, once you guys are done at Archer's Paradox, Problem's gonna, unless you guys really wanted to keep showing you other places, she's gonna hang out here for a little while and talk to Varys for a bit.
All right. Yeah. Well, if you get bored later, I'll be at the tavern. We'll be hanging out and drinking later.
All right.
Varys, you're welcome to come too.
Yes, really?
Sure, why not?
I'm just fangirling in the corner with my stick.
She's in the back. Woo! Every time it bends.
I got shiny.
Woo!
Genuine
Ooh.
elvish magic there.
Woo!
All right. So yeah, as you guys are walking around the platforms up in the trees, again, there's the Master Fiven's metalworking, or you can go to the Taproot Inn and Tavern, or there's also the Temple of the Feldarine. Wherever you guys want to go, whatever you want to do.
I imagine it's about time Todd headed to Erdan's place for the curse handling.
Yeah, unless you guys wanted to sleep first, it's up to you guys if you want to do it tonight or tomorrow morning.
I'll do it tonight.
Okay.
I'll head off to the tavern.
All right. Bart and Mortimer, where are you guys headed? Bart, I'm assuming you're going to go with Toddern because of magic stuff.
'Cause magic.
I suppose.
Jinx would ask if he could come with.
Why not? You can witness some interesting magic.
Indeed.
He's very excited by that, and kind of he takes out that toy wand that he's got, and or have you gave him an actual magic wand, didn't you? He takes out that magic wand and is kind of shaking it around.
Don't tell me. Prestidigitation? No, that was a scroll.
Yeah, that was a scroll.
The wand of Don't Tell Me sounds awesome.
I think it was just a regular magic. I think
The wand of secret.
Hear, see, or
knows.
say shit.
I'm pretty sure he ended up with just a regular magic wand, but that's fine. I could be mistaken.
That's okay. I would have bought him a wand.
Yeah.
Go to old focal stuff.
Hey, like, I have a question, real quick.
Sure. Go ahead.
Since I have my shiny stick of beauty, how do I switch wand? Because I have a U wand that was my focus. How do I switch focuses? I can't remember how that's done.
Just tell me. There's not really a specific mechanic for it or anything like that needs to be done in Fantasy Rounds. It's just this is the item you're using. Like for Todrin, it's his Heartstone amulet. For Bart, it's his sword. That's it.
Okay.
Mortimer, what have you got? I don't even know. What's your
Quarterstaff, I think.
yeah. Oh, Mortimer, I'm going to remind you just because you have a troll heart in your inventory that if you wanted to sell, you could. And while it's still fresh, that might be a thing you wanted to do. Just because I know it's been weeks, but it's only been in your backpack for like a day and a half too.
Troll heart. Oh, right, from when y'all were in the woods.
Yeah, they killed a troll.
Good riddance.
I forgot I had a bag of holding.
Hag of Bolding.
Is that something you want to do, or?
Who you asking, Mort?
Mortimer,
Oh, sorry about that. Say again.
did you want to sell that troll heart, or
I mean, is it starting to make a mess?
it probably will keep for a while? I mean, it is from a troll. It's kind
Oh,
of
it's 15 tons though. Or, thanks. Yeah, let's go ahead and sell it. Wants it.
all
I was
right.
gonna say 15
So-
tons. How
It's
big is
gonna-
that troll?
It's gonna start growing a troll here in a
It's
second.
Gnomish tons.
No,
So
it's-
that is an actual possibility, Todrick, just from your previous experience with trolls.
It's like a potato just starts growing arms and legs.
Yeah. So, the general store that Trowlam mentioned, her mother runs. When you guys come in, her mother's there. Her mother's name is Deleneth,
I like
and
that.
she'll buy the troll heart for 250 gold if you want it.
Damn, 250 gold for a troll.
Sold.
Need more trolls.
All right.
Right?
I'll
Let's
let-
go troll hunting.
I'll let you take care of that. So, while you guys are there at the general and the herbalism shop, is there anything else you guys want there? She will say that they have potions of healing, 3 potions of healing, 2 potions of greater healing, 1 potion of hill giant strength, and 1 each of a potion of fox's cunning, owl's wisdom, or cat's grace.
Interesting. How much for the giant strength?
250 gold pieces.
What does that do specifically?
For about an hour, it'll make you about as strong as a hill giant.
Yes, but
That's 21.
okay.
21 strength.
That's only 2 more.
When she holds it up, you can see there's this looks like a sliver of a fingernail that's in the liquid.
Yeah,
That-
okay.
Looks like it's actually from a hill giant.
But what are the potions of skill improvement? What are their effects?
Let's see. So, she holds up the fox's cunning first. She says, "Fox's cunning. A bottle of that. You won't have to study before the big test. It gives you advantage on intelligence checks for 1 hour.
Sounds intelligence, and then
Owl's wisdom gives you wisdom checks have advantage for 1 hour. She says a bottle of that, and you will know that you should have studied before the big test. And Cat's Grace is advantage on dexterity checks, and you also don't take damage from falling 20 feet or less.
But you constantly push things off shelves.
There is that side effect, she says.
no quip about the test.
No, do you have a good one?
Helps you sneak out the window during the test. I got nothing.
You have been hanging out with Trowlam, haven't you?
It lets you grab the other guy's test when he finishes. There you go.
Sure, that'll work.
That'll be 20 gold.
Each of those are 100 gold.
You mean 80 gold?
Roll a persuasion check.
I was fucking kidding. Persuasion. Here we go. Oof. Bad jokes.
He says 100 gold.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. What do y'all think? Any of those sound handy?
You get 2 potions of healing.
2 potions of
still-
healing. 50 gold pieces each.
I'm still reading how to pull an Orochimaru on a sword.
Mortimer, I'm going to put those into your inventory. There you go.
Some might ask if that's a joke about swallowing swords.
Jeez.
I'm just assuming everything's a dick joke, so.
Solid.
Is it not?
Solid. Solid.
I'm sorry. I should have asked. Did you mean the regular healing potions, or did you mean the greater healing?
Little ones are fine.
Okay. So I've put 2 of those in your inventory then. If you can take care of the gold.
You better identify them.
She kind of raises an eyebrow and she says,
I'm not there. I'm just
Oh.
giving Kai shit because one almost killed me.
It's true.
Jesus. All right. Well, I'm gonna head off to the Erdan's place. Catch y'all at the tavern later.
Right. So, are you all going to Erdan's? Or was anyone else breaking off to go somewhere else?
Well, I'm gonna go to the tavern. I don't really need to go with, do I?
You
don't have
can
to.
if you want to.
You
don't
yeah,
have
you
to.
want to.
No, I'm gonna go to the tavern. Take
All
one of
right.
my shit.
Save me a spot.
Of course.
And smile. We saved your family.
I know that. I'm also smiling because I got a shiny stick.
That's right. Yeah, you're still giggling and yep. Okay.
So,
I'm a stick.
I'm a stick.
and now it's a bow. And now it's a stick.
Now I'm a
Now it's
boat.
a bow. And there is no limit on that, by the way. It can go back and forth.
Oh, that'll make fights so interesting.
I think it's a bonus. I think it's a bonus action. Let me double check.
That is cool.
Yeah, the user can use a bonus action to speak the command word, which the command word can be whatever you want it to be.
Heil.
I was gonna say maybe something in like celestial or something. I don't know.
Stick 'em up.
So, when you come back to Erdan's place, it's gotten late, and it's you're late autumn at this point, so it's gotten dark well before now. And when you find him, elves don't sleep, but they do go into a trance.
They don't sleep?
They do not sleep.
I didn't know that.
You find him sitting in kind of his legs crossed and his hands on his knees. It's just this meditation pose. But his eyes are open. And he's looking straight ahead. And as you approach, you can see there are what look like crescent moons in his eyes, like cataracts, that you didn't notice before when you were sitting at the table talking to him in the council chamber. And he doesn't seem to have noticed you at this point.
I'll just kind of knock on the door jamb gently.
Yeah. He kind of blinks his eyes, and those crescent moons just seem to go away, and he looks back to you. He says, "Oh, welcome. Come in, please."
Sir Lord Keeper,
Um,
sorry, are we interrupting?
Oh no, not at all. Please. Anyone who's present, feel free to roll a history check.
History. Bam. Where's Mort? Mort with me? Cool. +8. Damn.
Bart, did you have one?
Wow.
I'm not there yet.
Okay. Todrin, I'll say 18 is enough to know this. So, elves don't typically age outwardly the way that a human would. They don't get gray hair, or they don't get wrinkles. They don't. Their bones don't ache. Um,
Just
the
continue.
oldest elves look like they're
Right.
30. There is
Okay.
one sign that an elf is near the end of their life, and it's the cataracts in the shape of a crescent moon that
Oh.
appear when they are in trance.
Okay.
It's known commonly as the transcendence, and beyond that is probably your history is this same bonus as your religion, right?
Yes.
I probably should have called this a religion check, but we'll say it's that because this is more of a religious thing.
Okay.
This is evidence that Sehanine Moonbow has opened the door to an elf's opened the door to the afterlife to an elf soul.
Wow.
It's a direct sign from the gods that it's time to get your affairs in order, and that um, death is soon coming for him.
Would I know? Never mind. Never mind. I'll just yeah, I'll say so. Thank you again for offering to do this. Shall I go find Bart before we get started? Sorry, Lord Margaster.
Sorry, was that for me? Yeah.
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 Okay.
He needs to be here.
Yeah.
He just nods his head and says, "Yes, we can get started."
I'll go find
As you head
Bart.
towards the door, I just walk around the corner, reading my book. Ah, everyone's here.
First he bumps into a centaur, then he bumps into you.
He ain't putting his
Oh,
nose anywhere near my navel.
I was gonna say not to navel.
So, he invites you all in, and he turns to his granddaughter Adri and says, "Can you bring us all a cup of tea, please?" And he sits down at the table, and he says, "If you would, just place Azure Edge here."
I do.
By the way, Lord Keeper, I hope you don't mind, but I told my apprentice that he could accompany me here.
Oh, you have an apprentice. Wonderful. Bring him in, please.
He's right here. He's bouncing on his toes, just. He's ready to learn, or watch at least.
Speaking of apprentices, Bart, can we contact Nat later? I should really touch
It would have
base
to
with
be
her.
tomorrow.
All right.
But yes, I could do that.
So as you guys are discussing that, you can see the Lord Keepers turn to Jinx, and almost like that, there's a spark in the Lord Keeper's eyes, almost as much as there is in Jinx's eyes. It's like just
Common passion.
a common passion, but also just he respects the passion being brought back in turn. It's he's excited that he's excited, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so when you guys bring Azure Edge in, though, and he invites everyone to sit, and it's not long before you all have a cup of elven tea that's sat in front of you. And he says, "So, what exactly seems to be the problem?"
I'm not sure. You'll have to ask her. Haven't ever interacted with her at her full potential. Not even sure I know where the curse came from.
You know, she has told you that the Gnarl the Brandis is responsible for it. The drow that works for the Xanathar Guild.
Ah, yeah, it's from the Xanathar.
So you share all of that information?
Yep.
And this drow, that... Okay, and he starts to cast an identify spell on her, and there's a moment where he seems to be communicating with her again, and then back to you guys, and there's this almost a sort of deep concern as he just talks with her quietly. The gist of what you get from him is, because you can't hear her talking, it's telepathic, and she can't do it to all of you at once, unless you're all touching the axe or whatever. But he says, you say a drow is responsible for this.
Right. Yes.
Do you know where he is?
I imagine still in town.
Bartholomew, would you please come with me?
Of course.
I need you to just come down into Whispers with me, just for a brief moment.
Okay.
Tondrin, you think we're going to need a body for this?
I'm not sure. Think we have to make a potion out of his remains or something? Eye of Drow.
Saying it seems to be the sort of thing we're going to need a body for. Oh, welcome back.
I love this.
When we walk back in the room, I have a very grim look on my face.
Oh.
That's the look of needing a body.
Is your apprentice, Jinx, should he be here for this?
I look at Jinx. Do you have the strength?
Guess we have a body.
He kind of looks at you and he goes, "What? I don't want to go out. I can stay."
This could cause you mental strain, Jinx.
Todd
Kind of
remembers seeing the 3 or 4 different times this kid was covered in blood.
Right.
Yeah. There's a moment where Jinx is like, you can see kind of like he wants to take a step back, but he holds his ground, and he says, "I can take it."
And I look back to Ludin? Nope.
Erdan,
Erdan. Where did Ludin come from?
lore keeper, probably.
Huh. Yeah, I look back at him and I nod my head.
Very well. Todrin,
Lay it on me. What we got?
as you are well aware, Azure Edge is not a typical magic item.
Right.
This is an incredibly dangerous curse. And the drow responsible for casting it would only do so if he were insane or if he had nothing left to lose.
That
Check.
sounds terrible.
What? I need to know everything you know about this drow. And I know it's been a long time, so if you don't remember, I can remind you guys.
This isn't the same drow that we killed his brother, right?
This is that guy, yes.
Oh, fuck. Just more incentive to find that fucker.
I don't even remember that.
Remember he was hunting us, and we killed, because we killed his brother, so he betrayed Bragendareth to join the...
His brother was the one that was killing humans on the docks, right?
Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I do vaguely remember that.
It was elves, not humans.
Right.
Oh, okay. Huh.
He said you killed his brother.
Correct.
Okay.
He was a member of Bragendareth.
So
And
there's a lot of people you know that wouldn't recognize that name. This guy's been around. He recognizes that name.
he's been around town.
Right.
Bragendareth. Interesting. Well, Todrin, Azure Edge's magic isn't being suppressed. It's being siphoned.
So this could get worse?
It's already worse. He casts a spell, and you see Azure Edge appear in the center of the table, like floating above it, and kind of spinning slowly. It's a major image spell,
Awesome. Cool.
and it's kind of spinning slowly and glowing. And he says, "This is obviously the Azure Edge," and then he motions his fingers in kind of a very beautifully well practiced motion, and you see 4 silver strands that kind of appear and just go off into nothingness, right? It's just, these are attunement links in the weave. When a person creates an attunement with a magic item, it bonds them magically through the weave. And he gestures to Bart. Your friend here named his sword after the weave. The weave is what allows magic to exist in our world.
All right. I'm with you.
This Azure Edge is currently attuned to 4 different creatures.
That's not
One of-
normally possible, is it?
No, it's not. In fact, it's incredibly dangerous.
Oh,
One of them is to you.
okay.
One of them is to either Gnarl or some kind of item that he's using to siphon Azure Edge's energy into. Do you have any idea who these other 2 links are to?
Oh, well,
Could one of them be Nat?
I'm guessing one of them's my
Who is-
apprentice, Nat.
Who is Nat? Your apprentice.
She's one of his friends, and I gesture to Jinx.
Yeah,
Um,
Jinx's eyes gonna go wide at the mention of her.
And I imagine the other one is probably Lugnak. He actually managed to steal her from me for a time.
Fascinating.
I touch Azure Edge on the table, and I say out loud, I wasn't aware that you bonded with Jenks as well. Nat as well.
You would know that she had done that, yeah.
But that's not normally possible, like you said.
She says, well, and that's where she seems confused about this also, and she says, it would have broken the bond with you, and you see Erdan say, except it didn't.
So
That's
you bonded her for training with her, thinking it would break the
right,
bond with me, and then we would rebond when we traveled,
right,
but...
yes, exactly. And he says, but that's not what happened. What ended up happening is instead, she is now bonded to you, to this Nat, to Lugnak, and to whatever it is that Gnarl, this drow, is using to siphon her energy from.
So, why is this typically dangerous? Is it dangerous for the people involved as well, or just for the weapon?
Frankly, I'm surprised you're not dead already.
Dead! Dead?
Dead.
It said, as I said, this link here, and he gestures to one, and you see that there are the 4 silver threads. One of them looks a lot stronger than the other one. And he says, I would assume this one is to you, but
Stronger because of proximity?
no. Because you're her primary wielder.
Okay.
Hadron.
Yep.
I will say Azure Edge would say to you, she says, I've always felt that I had a very strong bond with Nat. Could that one be to her?
It could also be that. If it's any way bonded to your will, then right, she is your chosen one, so to speak.
The chosen one.
The chosen one. She is literally the chosen one. Right, so what do we do about this?
Hadron, if you were to somehow become unattuned to her, it will kill you.
Dead?
Dead.
That is what kill means, Todron.
I'm just trying to
In
wrap my
fact-
head around this.
The same is true not only of you, but of this Nat and of Lugnak. If any of you were to become unattuned to her, it would kill you.
Well, as awful as that sounds, and I do want to approach that in a broader sense, what are the odds we can pick these bonds specifically to undo? Because Lugnak needs to go down. This could solve a lot of problems for us, for a lot of people.
Frankly, making that decision, it's impossible to tell which one goes to you and which one goes to her
Oh,
and which one goes to him and which one goes back to whatever it is that he's siphoning.
so even if we could do that, we'd be rolling the dice with 50-50 chance that it's not someone we want to die.
Yes.
But you can detect that one of the bonds is stronger than the others?
I can detect that one of them is stronger. I can't detect which one is stronger.
Right. And the rest are equal in power?
As far as I can tell, yes. But more or less. But
So,
yes.
what do you think? Do we need to go and find this drow and
My suggestion would be that lifting the curse will be no easy matter. You'll probably have to destroy whatever it is that he's using to siphon her magic. Or sever the connection from that side.
Would that wouldn't trigger the killing of the rest of us? It would lift the curse?
If you were to break the connection from that side, I believe you would all be fine.
Okay.
You should know. You are on a clock.
Of course. Of course I am.
When that time runs out, Azure Edge will lose her magic and her sentience forever.
And what of the rest of us?
All of those attunements would then be severed. And you would all die.
Dead.
Dead. And for the record, when he says dead, he means unrevivable dead.
Severed from existence, basically.
Like your soul would.
Attunement is a very primordial force.
Right.
Fuck. Well,
This is-
I'm glad we asked about this. This is quite a bit more than I was expecting.
Todrin, you have 3 months. Give or take.
Okay.
I don't think so, Drax. Maybe. I don't.
remember doing that at one point.
It's a possibility. It's been so long I don't recall though. He tells you, and he gestures to the stronger link in the image. He says, "That girl's the only reason you're still alive. If it weren't for her bond, you would all be dead right now."
Well, we certainly need to contact her sooner rather than later. Would you have any way, any of you?
I can do it tomorrow. I have not the spells to do it tonight.
Right, I still have the paper bird, but I feel like...
It wouldn't get there from here in time. Any
Yeah.
faster than tomorrow morning.
Right. Mort,
He looks-
Seraphima, either of you got messaging capability?
I thought I wasn't there.
Oh, right. Mort? Kai? Alrighty.
He may have fallen asleep.
Well, sorry, the lore keeper was about to say something.
He says, the strongest link is buying you time. It's giving her, Azure Edge, the strength to fight. If it weren't for that, you wouldn't be here now. And... frankly, not to put too fine a point on it, if I were you, I would start praying.
Right. That sounds like a good idea.
And you see a moment of clarity in his eyes, and he just kind of softly to himself says, "This is why I'm still here."
Right. I'm certainly personally grateful that you were here to fill us in on this. Thank you for your help.
See, there's a almost a smile, but kind of a sad one that kind of crosses his face, and he kind of wipes a tear from his eye and says, "I think I've done everything I can now.
Oh, wow.
Good luck."
I'll reach out and offer my hand to him.
He shakes your hand, says, "Thank you, and good luck."
It's been an honor, sir. It really has. Well, we'll leave you to your peace then. Right. Okay. I guess we'll leave. Shit. Dead.
As you guys are leaving, the last thing you see is him going back into that
That had the
meditation
same
pose.
poignancy as somebody being told they have cancer. That's just wow.
With probably 10 minutes to live.
Yeah, that was really poignant.
Fuck, dude. Whoa. What a scene.
I'm gonna have trouble sleeping tonight.
I'm sorry.
Oh, man. Nicely done, Kazin. Holy fuck.
Thank you.
Okay, well, I guess we'll head to the tavern. So much for a rowdy night of drinking.
No, it's a sad night of drinking.
Yep.
Drown your sorrows.
There's never not an excuse to drink.
Oh, well played. Well played.
So when you get there, you find Ulfgar Stoneshaft, along with a couple of the other villagers from Keldale rather, sitting in the tap room of the Taproot Inn. They're just having a drink, and you see Ulfgar take a swig, and he just says, "It just doesn't taste like good beer. It's more like dew."
It's more like ooh.
Oh, poor baby.
Just as you guys are coming in, that's the conversation you guys overhear.
I'll take a mug of that dew.
Ew.
DEW for the record.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Not the other kind.
Not the doo-doo kind of dew.
Right.
It
Not
tastes.
the Mountain Dew.
This tastes like dew.
So
Tastes like dew from the mountain.
it's reasonably busy here. Like I said, elves don't sleep, so that it's kind of a 24-hour kind of thing around here. Like you'll have different elves that are sleeping or meditating at different hours of the day. So it's kind of the city that doesn't sleep in a way. But they do have
Huh.
beds for guests that do have to sleep. Some of whom, the half-elves, for instance, that are in town, which there's not many. You've only seen a handful, Trollam and Varus, among the very few you've seen. They do have to sleep. So they do have beds, and they have, arrangements for the refugees and that kind of thing.
Noobs.
But,
Right. Are Trollam and Varus there?
they are not here.
All right.
If you want to go looking for them, they're probably not far away, though.
Nah. More important things on my mind at this point. But yeah, so I guess we'll just enjoy a night of drinking and talking with the group. So we made it to safety for now.
I don't have that. Ah, shit, it's in my chest.
What?
Sorry?
That super fine wine.
Huh.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in Waterdeep.
Yeah.
I'll sit down with,
I mean, you can buy a bottle of wine here if you want.
yeah, I was gonna share it with Wolf Grim. What is his name?
Ulfgar?
Ulfgar.
So, on the menu, because Kaysen went to the trouble of finding a elven menu,
Ooh.
so the first thing that they'll tell you is the woman running the place, her name is Muriel. She says, if you want to leave a tip, that's fine, but the council is covering your meals for you and all of the refugees. Uh,
I'll put a gold piece on the table.
much appreciated. Thank you, kind sir.
Of course.
They have honey mead, apple cider, good berry wine. You can get a bottle of elven good berry wine for about 50 gold pieces.
Ooh, that's good wine.
Uh,
Gary, isn't that a
Jesus.
They have
spell?
good berry pie, apple roses, roasted rabbit, pheasant, venison, or trout, elven bread and cheese, quail eggs, candied nuts, and there's all sorts of fresh fruits, berries, mushrooms, and vegetables.
Oh man. I go to
Oh.
town on the mushrooms, the venison, and the good berry wine.
The 50 gold good berry wine.
Not the bottle, just some of the drink.
I
Not the
buy us a bottle.
All right.
Nice.
Considering the night you had.
Yes.
I'll see to that then, Bart, and get you that.
Then tonight deserves a bottle.
It does.
After that news,
That leaves me with just under 3,000 gold pieces still.
Damn,
Just
you a rich bitch.
just randomly throughout the night, I'll just out of the blue go dead,
I'm
Killed.
sorry.
dead.
For the record, I don't want to make it seem like I'm picking on you at all. I
No.
don't mean for all the bad shit to keep happening to you.
Hey, it's the Alendhi curse. What can I say? I'm sure
man, I
all
didn't
of
even
Bart's
think about
family
that.
will get murdered at some point, and I'll be justified. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Spoilers.
Well, I gotta rewrite that section now. Fuck. Dead. Well, folks, we made it to. Fucking give me a second, Lionora.
That's it.
That's a rare sight to behold for sure. How are y'all feeling? We've been through a lot lately.
I got a shiny stick. I'm fine.
And your family's safe. That's cool too.
Yeah. I could just imagine me showing this stick to my younger brother and him just being like, just losing his shit.
Bart, did you find anything interesting in the library?
For the record, you have a bottle of good berry wine in your inventory now.
No, I don't. We're all gonna drink it.
Oh, well, in that case.
Ah,
Give
nice.
us the whole keg.
Bring the bottle.
There you go.
Bring
Were you going
the
to share?
bottle.
Were you also going to share it with Wolfgar?
Yes.
You mentioned him earlier, so
Mhm.
all right.
When he invites the dwarf, how willing is he to come over and hang out?
Bart, you rolled. I think it was a natural 20 last time, wasn't it?
It was high.
It was a natural 20. I'm pretty sure.
For persuasion, yeah.
Yeah. So he'll come over and doesn't seem to hesitate. And he doesn't know the bad news you guys have heard yet. And actually, he
When
would.
he
You keep
gets
saying
over
dead.
there- When he gets over there and he sees my face, he's like, "Oh, what's wrong?"
That's a good point. Yeah,
And I just
When-
look at him. I need more power.
and he just
Jesus, dead.
he is. Wait. Who's
Swear to God,
dead?
you're gonna sit there and say dead all night.
Nobody
Yeah.
yet, but
He-
a drow will be soon.
A drow. Well, good.
Agreed.
Wait, what drow? Was a drow in town? What?
There is.
Back in Waterdeep.
Would you
Water
like to
deep.
hear the story of Garth?
Sure. Pour me a drink of that.
Of course. And when he sits down, we share some really, really good wine, and I regale him of the tale of our breach of the dragon horde.
Yeah, that's so awesome. Fuck yeah.
Oh, dear.
interspersed with dead and a wiggling stick on the side of the table. Just rattling on the underside of the table. Bunk, 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 bunk.
Yeah, shit.
It all started about a year ago.
I'm not gonna stop you.
No, that's all I had to say.
That's okay.
Fade to black,
So yeah,
and then fade back
he
in.
tells he tells the story of that. You guys spend the better part of the evening discussing, that and the curse, and at some point, I'm sure the Stone Shaft Margaster rivalry comes up, and there's a moment where so there's a weird thing about the way dwarves drink, in that where a human would drink to forget, dwarves drink to remember.
Right, I remember reading this.
Yeah.
I remember that too.
And there's a couple of times where he starts to break out in song, and it's like nobody joins in at first, and he's like, well, shit.
Dude,
I make an effort.
Yeah, and when you do, he appreciates it, and he gets to singing with Bart, and at one point at first you're not sure if it's intentional or if he doesn't realize what he's doing, but he kind of puts an arm around you like best buds at this point now, and clinks his glass with yours and kind of dancing back and forth. He says, for a Margaster, you're not bad.
I believe you're right.
you said excellent wrong, little man.
Just kind of glares at you a little and says, don't push it.
Does Trollum show up while we're telling the story?
Yes, I would say so.
Cool.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so when we finish up with the story, I turn to her. So, what do you think of the story?
Have you just shared the whole thing with her,
Yeah, definitely.
including the part about you being dead in 3 months?
No, just the climax of the story, I would imagine, is us getting the horde,
Oh, okay.
the dragon's horde.
In that case, she's, tales of adventure, telling that kind of thing in a tavern. That's like she's into it. She wants to hear more, and loves every bit of it. Yeah, it's
I love how you all.
Especially for her, in that this whole town is just like nothing ever changes. I've got to get out of here. There's adventure to be had out there. I gotta do something other than this. And you definitely, the more you talk, the more it's like, I gotta get out of here. I have got to get out of this town.
You're giving her an itch, my dude.
Yeah, I'm like, well, how would you feel about joining us when we left to take these people to safety?
I'll have to talk to my mom, but yeah, I think I gotta
We've
get
got
out
a
of
bar you can work at.
You seem like you can take care of yourself.
here. Yeah, the bar, huh?
It's
fun.
Bar,
It's haunted.
Haunted. What?
literally.
That's the best part.
Wait. You're kidding me.
What?
You gotta see it for yourself.
Oh, you aren't aware, are you, Seraphima?
Oh, I'm definitely going.
Not
She
at
looks to
all.
this half elf looks to the dwarf next to her, and she's just like, I gotta go now.
Dead.
This I've got to see.
What is his name?
Liff.
Liff. I was like, Lux, Lim.
So, sir, Kylie, in case you can't tell, there are so many NPCs in this. I have lost track of them all.
Yeah, I can tell.
I have just stepping out for just a second. The Waterdeep Dragon Heist adventure that we did had so many NPCs in it just for Waterdeep. And I
Tons of characters.
have added my own, and like Lionora is entirely 100% mine. There's everything you guys find here is mine. So
Awesome.
Congratulate you on a great craftsmanship, my dude.
thank you. I appreciate it.
Including a ghost NPC.
Ghost NPC? What the fuck?
The ghost
He's an
wasn't.
actual ghost that works for us in our tavern.
He wasn't mine. He was part of the adventure. But yes.
The fuck? This episode of Ghost Adventures,
But
I
yeah.
order an ale.
So
Pretty much.
so you guys spend the rest of the evening with Todrin every now and then, just drowning his sorrows and just in shock at the news he's just received. Bart, you're making best friends basically with a stone shaft, something probably never thought would have happened. Either one of you probably never thought that would happen.
Liquor makes you do things.
And Seraphima, is there anything in particular that you want to do at the bar?
I'm trying real hard not to exterminate his clan, Seraphima. I don't say that in character.
You do say that in character?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
No.
The first meeting he had with Clan Stoneshaft could not have gone worse.
Oh
Yeah,
dear
that
God.
It was not good.
Oh, so you were particularly hateful of this clan then?
They
It's
own a seat of my house.
Yeah,
What?
it's a long-standing rivalry, more than 500 years in the making.
Yeah. Thornhold is a big ass castle fort thing.
Yeah.
Stone Shaft occupies it right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sucked.
So anyway, back in character though, is there anything, Seraphima, you would like to do or say, or before the evening's out, as you're all
Well,
in the
I'm
tavern?
just sitting there drinking I'm sitting there drinking with the rest of them.
Mhm.
I've kind of started to wean myself off the wanderlust of my brand new stick. My stick of truthiness. Which my younger brother is probably like, this is amazing, I want one.
He's hanging out while we're drinking?
Well, they're in the tavern too, because I
Oh.
sent them there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dad's probably in the corner, grumpy, still looking around at all the elves
Little
and other.
bit, yeah.
And he's just like,
A little bit of grumpy, yeah.
yeah, a little bit of grumpy. But otherwise, I'm just listening to tales and just basically hanging out. But I noticed that Todrin's not quite himself, and neither is Drax's character.
Bartholomew.
Yeah, I keep getting his and Kai's mixed up. Yeah, Bartholomew. They just don't look like their normal selves, and I'm kind of like, okay, not gonna say anything. I'll just keep it to myself. But something is definitely wrong.
Dead.
The fact that you keep saying dead.
Ulf, every time he does that, Ulfgar just kind of looks at him and then back to you, Bart, and just goes, "What's wrong with him?
He got bad news.
Who died?"
His
He'll
dog.
kill soon.
You
If we don't kill
hate
that drow.
the drow. That's who died.
That's who we want to die.
Well, he just said, "I'll drink to that."
Yeah, fuck drow.
So yeah, you guys, Kalania, is there anything you'd like to have Mortimer say or do at this time?
Mortimer is sketching naked ladies on cloths, trying to figure out which half is half.
What the fuck?
Wait, what? Which half is half?
The half elf girl.
She kind of leans over your shoulder and she says, "That's
They all
not
look
bad."
remarkably like her.
She says, "That's not bad."
I know, right? Yes. Like holding my thumb up to her and squinting.
Half is half.
Which half is which?
Which part's the elven
Well,
half?
it was the centaur, and naturally there
It's mostly
half
the
would be elf.
mostly the ears. Oh, the other half's
All the good bits.
The boobs are on the upper half. What do elven boobs look like?
Are you saying this out loud in front of her?
No. No.
That would be
You're all
fucking
drunk
hilarious
at this
if you
point.
did.
I'm not part of that conversation. I'm still talking with Ulfgar.
I know, I'm just picking at you.
Oh my god, that would be hilarious if you did. Like, he just looks over from fucking the dwarf and goes, "What do elven boobs look like?"
Just saying, I do have a minor illusion that I can use to create a light behind her for shadowing, and I also have dampen elements.
Elements of.
I'm sure I can get creative with it.
So I'm gonna put this in Discord because if I've still got it, do I still have it?
Elven boobs?
No,
Elven
unfortunately
boobs.
not.
We're all stuck on elven boobs.
Oh God, where's there it is.
Do they have
Um,
points too?
They come to wow.
So I will later. I will give you a who's who. But there are all the people that are in Leonora that you guys can meet. If you want, I can go down the list right now. But basically,
your
these are
date.
some of the people you've seen, and I made all of those with Baldur's Gate 3.
You can tell.
Yeah. So anyway, you guys would spend the rest of the evening doing your thing, and eventually everybody retires to a room. You get they're not going to make you pay for a room at the inn. Everything's being paid for by the council, so you all will get a long rest. Whether you spend it up here at the inn, or if you would prefer to down with the other 100 or so refugees, is up to you guys.
Well, when the night draws to a close, I would definitely try to find a moment to pull Seraphima aside and fairly drunkenly, with a 1,000-yard stare, tell her about the impending doom of me and my apprentice, and poor Lugnack.
I get emotional and hug him
I kind
and
of
tell him we'll figure it out.
pat her on the back.
We'll figure it out.
Oh,
I appreciate it.
I apologize. I completely forgot something.
Uh-oh.
Give
Retcon!
me not a retcon, not a retcon. Just this would have been in the quarters where you found where you were speaking to the lore keeper while he was telling you everything about Azure Edge.
Oh, okay.
This is a picture of the Orc King and his crown,
Oh,
and the
right.
crown that was on display in the room. Uruth Ukrypt was the name of the Orc King about 500 years ago.
The chainmail crown.
Yeah, that's a very martial crown. Sick.
And give me 1 second. Let me see where I had it.
Even his crown is pierced.
Yep. Yeah, so the Battle of Westwood was won by humans with the aid of Leonora. Uruth Ukrypt, the Orc King, was killed in the battle. Obviously, his crown ended up here. It marked the end of the war, the Orc Fastings War, and the horde at the time broke apart. You had at the time what was called Black Claw, which later came into contact with other Orc tribes that had kind of been broken, and they came together to create Black Skull. Is how that happened centuries ago.
Okay.
And so yeah, that's the I know this is a lot of this has been a big lore dump, so there's a lot of that here, so I apologize for that. But anyway, Everybody, we will get a long rest now,
Cool.
unless anybody has anything else they want to do.
When I retire to my room, I lock the door behind me. I'm alone, and I pull out my red grimoire. And I just stare at it for like 2 hours.
Jeez.
At
Todd.
one point,
Bart.
Bart. At one point, there's a raven outside the window that just kind of looks at you.
Not in this place.
It flies
I just tuck
off.
it away and go to bed.
Yeah, it flies off when you say that.
What the fuck? Dude's got secrets.
Yes, he do.
You guys didn't see it.
I know. That's why it's a secret. Keep up, Kazan. Sorry.
For all the stuff that we've come across, you should see the list of stuff I have that we haven't touched on yet.
Oh dear.
Todd goes to bed alone and takes some. Is there a mirror anywhere? I think I might have one, actually.
There would be a mirror nearby if you needed it. I will say, however, it's not long before Rhea shows up at the door.
Shit.
Just tap 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 at the door.
Todd's focused. He actually spawned the plate mail on the bed, and he's cleaning that to the point that it's almost mirror-like.
Right.
And I just don't react to the door knocking at all.
Do I hear that? Does she persist?
I would say at the time you're focused on the book and the bird.
Good for her.
Good for her. Yeah, no, I don't respond to the door knocking at all.
Oh, do you guys want to continue with the next morning, or should we call it here and end the session?
I'm sorry if there's nothing else from her. I definitely once that person is gone.
No, she wouldn't barge in or anything like that.
Okay. Yeah.
She did knock a few times.
Not knowing who it was, just ignoring it. Todd, eventually, once it's quiet for a while, he does do some rituals and some prayers in the mirror of the room to protect Nat and preserve the beautiful weapon that is Azure Edge, and for any kind of guidance that Lady Suni can provide in this mess. And that's it.
Anyone else have anything they want to add?
Dead!
All
right.
God damn it. I'm gonna giggle every time he does that.
Everyone ends up in, I'm assuming, alone in their own room. Unless anybody wants to.
Well, yeah, I check on my family before.
Right.
Roll initiative.
And say my prayers. And say my prayers before I go to bed. But yeah, the whole thing with Todrin starts to bother me, so it was hard to. So it would probably be hard for me to get to sleep.
The Alendhi curse.
I apologize. With that, I'm gonna go ahead and call the session, and we will pick it up the next morning with you all getting your long rest. So I've already given that to you, but we'll start the next session the next morning.
Cool.
Sounds good.
All right. So I know there was a lot of heavy shit in there.
Man.
Todrin, I'm sorry all the bad shit keeps happening to you.
I love it. I love it. I love it. It's great. I did not personally expect the elves to be so friendly and open. Once they let us in, they were pretty accepting and friendly, and I like that. That's good.
I will say, we've already ended the session. I'd make you roll an insight check. Otherwise, there's a lot of reverence for the lore keeper, and since he was the one that was inviting you in and all, it was kind of for him.
Gotcha.
The more you come to realize why that is, it's, he's basically on his deathbed,
Right.
and this is kind of almost in a way like his dying wish is to help these people. And you get an impression that what would otherwise be a very insular community, this was for him.
Wow.
Like I
Wow,
said,
wow,
very
wow.
poignant tonight.
I'm sorry?
Very poignant tonight
Thank you.
and emotional.
I expected to walk in there and get a +2 to my battle axe. That was a lot more
Not a
emotional than I
to
was.
get to say you would die in 2 months.
Right? A lot more emotional than I was prepared
Well,
for.
And the kicker is you'd already be dead if not for Nat.
Yeah, that, and I can't imagine if I were to have found another magic item and been like, yeah, I'm gonna attach this for now and unattach dead.
So you can't unattach it intentionally right now. That's the problem.
Oh, okay, got it.
If you were to forcibly do so, it would kill you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm glad I didn't.
Well, I mean, it would take magic to do it though. It would take a dispel magic spell or something like that. It'd have to be very strong dispel magic to do that. To break an attunement is not a normal use of dispel magic. But if you were to say enter a cone of an anti-magic field, that could be trouble.
Oh shit. Whew.
Oh, that's
I will have to double check on that. I may
this
be
is one
mistaken.
nasty drow. Jesus.
I think it may actually just suppress the effect. I'm not sure, but I have given thought to it. I'll just say.
Crazy. That's nuts.
That
I
is
love it.
one nasty